The women's soccer team hosted Senior Day, and our Youngstown State volleyball team had a very busy weekend. All this and much more coming up next on the Penguin Rundown. And welcome into the Penguin Rundown, everybody. Richie Juliano with you here today. As I mentioned, it was a great weekend for Youngstown State Athletics. The bowling team started their season hosting the MOTIV Classic in Youngstown, and our swimming and diving team had a strong performance, and that's where we're going to start today's episode, as the swimming and diving team had a strong performance in their season opening contest at the Akron Zips Classic. Making headlines from the event was freshman Aleska Radinovic, who broke 2 school records over the weekend. Radinovic set the YSU record for the 100-yard butterfly with a time of 48.93 seconds, and then set the record in the 100-yard backstroke with a time of 50.04 seconds. Other first-place finishes from the team came from freshman Dominic Bono in the 400-yard IM, sophomore Gavin Webb in the 1,650-yard freestyle, sophomore Somo Albert in the 200-yard backstroke, and sophomore Cody Till, who won both of his diving events. Unfortunately, the women's swimming and diving team could not match the same success as the men's, but they still had solid performances, including senior Tess Weiskopf, who finished third in the 1-meter dive with a final score of 248.78, and sophomore J.L. Denkel, who finished fourth in the 1,650-yard freestyle. The swim and diving team will continue their busy month of October on the road this Friday as they take a short trip to compete at Cleveland State. And now, as we mentioned in the open, our volleyball team had a very busy weekend, and we're going to send it over to Cameron Stubbs, who is live from the Beagley Center.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Beagley Center covering the volleyball team as they just concluded a 3-game road trip. And before they hit the road, we caught up with junior Josie Borum to talk about the team's season.
We're working on things that we needed to do during the Robert Morris game and things that are going to help us like against these faster offensive teams. So we're working on speeding up our offense and things like that, and working on our placement as hitters and stuff like that. I think it's going to be hard being on the road for like 5 days, and it's definitely going to be tiring, 3 games in 4 days. But I think it'll also be fun as we can see like sights of Chicago and stuff like that.
Thank you, Josie Borum, for catching up with us. And starting with the 3 games on the road, they were filled with injuries as Lexi Beakey suffered a foot injury and Cheyenne Halady suffered a wrist injury. Starting Thursday at Green Bay, YSU lost their first game of the road trip in 3 sets, 25-17, 25-14, and 25-23. Josie Borum had a match-high 12 kills, and Lexi Beakey set her up by tallying 26 assists. The Green Bay offense was just too much for the Gwins, though, as they posted a .352 hitting percentage compared to YSU's .186 hitting percentage. Friday at UIC, the second game was also lost in 3 sets, 25-16, 25-14, and 25-15. Not a lot to be happy about, but star freshman Paula Gershing did have a hot second set with 7 of her 12 kills for YSU in that second set. Hitting percentage again dragged the Penguins down in a loss as UIC hit .384 and YSU hit only .069. Sunday at Milwaukee, they lost yet again in 3 sets, 25-9, 25-14, and 25-12. Paula Gershing led the team in kills for the second straight game, and Josie Borum posted a double-double with 17 assists and 11 digs. Hitting percentage again plagued the team on the road trip as Milwaukee hit .357 and YSU hit only .055. On average for the road trip in the 3 games, YSU hit .103, not something they want to look forward to and hope to improve soon. The volleyball team returned Tuesday to play Northern Kentucky here in the Beagley Center. You can catch highlights of that game on YSUsports.com. And looking ahead, the Penguins will be back on the road as they face Cleveland State on October 23rd, and they face Oakland on October 24th. I'm Cameron Stubbs here at the Beagley Center. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Cam. Well, the bowling team began their 2021 season this past weekend as they hosted the MOTIV Penguin Classic at Holiday Bowl in Struthers, Ohio. The Penguins bowled 13 matches over the long 3-day tournament, which spanned from Friday to Sunday. On Friday, YSU dominated 4-1 in head-to-head play and ended the opener with its 2 highest match totals. Youngstown State began with a 892 set and finished with a total of 1,050. The team showcased its depth on the second day of the Classic as they won 4 more matches. Junior Megan Grams had a memorable day from the leadoff spot in the lineup as she totaled 1,094 pins, which is the second highest 5-game set in program history. The 278 game by Grams was also the second highest ever by a Penguin. Sophomore Kristen Moore placed 6th with a 1,040, and senior Emma Wren finished 1 spot behind her with a total of 1,033. Youngstown State averaged 202.16 pins as a team on Saturday, and they finished the 2 days of qualifying in the top position by 257 pins. On Sunday, the final day of the Classic, the team won Game 1 of the championship match, then battled from a 3-1 deficit to force a winner-take-all Game 7. YSU had to work around 3 splits in Game 7, but a strike by Kirsten Moore in the 9th gave the Penguins a chance in the 10th. Anchor Emma Wren went 8th and spare and a strike. YSU fought in every single frame, but would come up just short of the championship match. The team finished 2nd right behind fellow NCAA competitor Arkansas State at the MOTIV Penguin Classic. YSU finished with a 9-4 record in head-to-head play for the tournament and led the 10 field with an average of 197. The bowling team's next tournament will be held in Coram, New York during Halloween weekend and compete in the Adelphi Desi Strong Classic. And now for more on our bowling team, we're going to send it over to Caleb and John, who are at the roundtable.
Thank you very much. Well, here we are at the roundtable. I'm Caleb, and joining me today making his roundtable debut is my main man, John. And John, we're going to be talking about a sports team who just got their season underway this past weekend, and that is our YSU women's bowling team. Now, they had a pretty strong weekend. Unfortunately, they did fall to 2nd place in the tournament, losing to Arkansas State in the finals. But overall, it was a very impressive showing from our bowling team.
Right. And they went against the Red Wolves, and unfortunately they lost the first game, and they were able to go against Duquesne, and they were able to beat them and go for a title rematch, which unfortunately in that one they did unfortunately lose.
So great show of resiliency there from the bowling team. Now after the tournament, bowling head coach Doug Kaburski, he said that it was great to have that hometown support because at the MOTIV Penguin Classic, it took place in Struthers, Ohio, which is just about 15 minutes south of here. So it's great to have that hometown support. And just overall, the team's heading in a direction that's really favorable. He really loves just the attitude, the positivity, just overall skill that this team is showing. It's really fun to watch, not only from a player, coach, but as a fan as well.
Right. Now, the YSU bowling team, they are young. They have a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, and definitely on those road tournaments to New York and Delaware and the other tournaments they have to start out, strong. With this tournament they were at, they started off not so strong, and then towards the end, a bunch of sophomores and freshmen, they started scoring, and I think these next tournaments they have to start out strong and keep strong.
I mean, absolutely. It is a young program, but we just saw last season they were able to make it to the Final Four in the NCAA National Championship. So obviously they already have a lot of skill from the start, and they can only go up from there. So we talked about it. They won't have any action this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after on Halloween, they will be in New York to play at the Desi Strong Classic. So what are some of the keys in that tournament and all the upcoming competitions do you think the bowling team will have to focus on?
Right. So as I said before, they have to work on coming out and scoring quickly and making sure that they don't, give up more points than they can come back from. But there's a lot of sophomores and freshmen that are stepping up and they're getting strikes and everything is just falling into place, and they just need to keep up with what they're doing, and they'll make it back to the finals.
Right, playing strong, no matter the game, no matter the frame, that's what it's all about. And that's all the time we have here at the round table. I've been Caleb Ellison.
And I'm John Ostapowicz.
Now it's time to send it back to Richie Juliano.
Thanks, guys. Well, the women's tennis team returned to action this past Friday at the Cleveland State Viking Invitational as they had some very strong performances in both the singles and doubles play. For Youngstown State in the Invitational against Cleveland State, senior Cecilia Rosas led the way for the Penguins as she took home the singles title by winning all 3 of her matches. And in doubles play, freshman Julia Marco turned in a strong performance with Rosas, becoming champions from winning 4 of their own matches. Marco and fellow freshman Elisa Rigazzo also won all of their singles matches to add to the team's strong performance. In doubles play, the Gwins won 9 of 12 total matches, with Marco and Rosas' 4-0 play and Masarakova and Regazio's 3-1 play. The women's tennis team is nearing the end of their season and will have a couple weeks off in preparation for the Cal Northridge Invitational on November 12th and 13th. And as we mentioned in the open, our women's soccer team had senior day this week, and we are going to send it over to Kyle Wills, who is live from Farmers National Bank Field.
Thanks, Rich. I am here at Farmers National Bank Field, where the women's soccer team played host to the Cleveland State Vikings this past Sunday in a 0-0 draw. Sunday also marked senior day for the team, as the Penguins honored the careers of 5 seniors. One of those seniors being goalkeeper Ziana Javraj, who made her first start in just over a month and a half for the Penguins. And the start, Javraj had 13 saves, which was a new career high for her. And she also recorded her second career shutout. Despite the tie, the Penguins and the Vikings will remain in tie for 6th place in Horizon League standings. The Penguins will finish their season on the road as they take on IUPUI on Saturday and Robert Morris on Wednesday. As for the cross-country team, both teams competed in the Penn State University National Open this past weekend, where the men's team finished in 5th place overall in the 5.2 mile. The men's team was led by sophomore Hunter Christopher, who finished 18th place individually with a time of 26 minutes and 12.8 seconds. For the women, they were led by junior Morgan Cole, who finished 21st individually with a time of 21 minutes and 39.5 seconds. Up next, both teams will compete in the Big Dance in Indianapolis, Indiana for the Horizon League Championships. That being in 2 weeks on October 30th. Let's send it back to you, Richie.
Thanks, Kyle. And now we're going to send it over to our Player of the Week. Drew has more.
Thanks, Richie. This week we are changing it up by acknowledging a Player of the Week. This one goes to senior Ziana Gerard from the women's soccer team. As we mentioned earlier, this past Sunday, the Penguins played the Cleveland State Vikings at home on senior day. Gerard started this game in the goalkeeper position, her first appearance in over 1 month. She earned 13 saves during the contest, her career best, while also earning the second shutout of her career. Her performance helped the Penguins play through 110 minutes in their double overtime tie. Congratulations to Ziana and good luck to the rest of the soccer team as they travel to IUPUI this weekend. Richie, back to you.
Thank you, Drew. Well, that'll about wrap it up here for the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, you could visit YSUsports.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That is all at Penguin Rundown 1. For our entire crew here in Bliss Studios, I am Richie Juliano saying so long. We'll see you next week, Penguin Nation.